like to say thank you for such amazing workshop. It was second. I was, to be honest, I wasn't expecting to get such kind of experience, because we had an opportunity to have a face-to-face interview with a co-worker of Google, which is a big experience and such a pleasure for us, especially for who is really interested in this. So, here we go. So the first, what we have learned from our presentation. First, we learned adding touristic destination on the map, roads, also number houses. Maybe for everyone, it's not really the new information, but for us it was new, and I'm pretty sure that it will help us in the future. And then managing cartograph groups in Ukraine, it's really common that they are making the new groups. Cartographer groups, which are enthusiastic people and they are making new maps. They are adding new attractions in the Google map, and it helps to the country to get even more and more tourists in the country. So then the visualization of attractive tourist destinations, also organizing special maps. For example, about organizing special maps, it's not as a Google map, but we are working in the Google map. For example, our presenter in yesterday's presentation, he had made by himself the map of the world track in his region. And for example, maybe it's not the biggest or something that will help to everyone, but this is really good. For example, if you are traveling by bike and want to see everything, and you need to know where is even parking. So it was on the map, and even you cannot find it in the Google Maps. So when it's such kind of special maps which are offering you to have a much more information about the area, this is really nice. The second, YouTube is the social network. As everyone knows, YouTube is not just a site or not just something that's some one site, like for example, as I don't know, Wikipedia. I mean, it's a social network. People are adding their videos, sharing them, and also they are making such a very big amount of money. Especially who is holding the channels in YouTube. Even they are sometimes making more money than the stars of Hollywood or stars in UK or in the different countries. So then using 3D Sphere. 3D Sphere is an application on your mobile devices which are helping you to match the main attractions on your on the map, and it's a 3D kind of 3D application that you are not you are taking photos not just to one part of the maybe interesting place, because for example I'm interested in to just to know what is going on, and not just in the shop or near to this building, but also outside, what's going on in the left, in the right, in the back. And this application is helping you to have much more information of this area. Next, please. So this is the statistic of how many people are using internet, mobile devices, and social network. As we know, in the Earth we are living 7.2 billion human, I would say, and nearly half of them are using and are registered in the internet day by day. So that's why that's why it's so important that we have to know our software and our even internet slides or our maps should be in the highest level. Because, for example, if someone is coming to your country and they don't have even a basic information how to get to one place to another. This is really bad for you, and probably he will not tell to anyone else to come he will not suggest your country to anyone other. So that's why you need to be even higher level on everything. So what was the main goal of our presentation? That rising tourism attractiveness by the help of the informational system that we already know, and we have to use this knowledge in the far future to help our region to get more and more tourists. Make more popular in our society the approach what we have learned, because the Google Map, as we probably you know that Google Map is not updating day by day, and they are updating, for example, 5 times in 1 year, or even 1 time in 5 years. So if you are using, and if the society is interested in and they are enthusiastic to even just to match the number of their houses, or just to name the main attractions, Google Map is working much more for you, as more devices are in the social area, as more photos and as much updates the Google Map is making. For example, in the Kherson, the last update of Google Map was in 2007, but in New York, the Google Map is making updates once in 2 weeks. So this means that they are using their really enthusiastic people. They are making some checkpoints or matching the roads, and that's why Google Map is working more for them as well. Next, please. So objectives to reach the goal. The first one is organizing the cartographer tournament. As our presenter said to us, that they already made such kind of tournament, and for example, everyone can make it, not just the government, also some institutes and even small society which is really interested in to help the country to raise the tourists, more tourist attractions. Then offering to universities and some government of the local region to encourage this kind of actions in everyday life, because it's really important that our society should be included, and I would say everyone should think about this, not just one man or for example, or one organization. For example, if you had some kind of small, even TV commercial for 3 minutes that just match your house in Google Map, it will be really nice because I would do it for myself, by myself, and also I will suggest to my friends. Maybe I will do not just my house, because there are nearby houses or nearby attractions which I really like, and that's why I will just check the points, and I will visualize it, please. Then, please. Okay. So what? So, I mean, yes, we know what to do, or we have some goals. And why do we have some goals, such kind of goals? The first, even for, I would say that for the Ukraine, this kind of, they have the really good cartographers, but even they have such kind of problems. But in Georgia, just in Tbilisi, you can see in the Google Map everything. But not in Kutaisi and not in other places. And it's really bad to our country, because, like, for example, if the tourist is coming to Kutaisi and he or she wants to get from A point to B, and there is no such, even road is not named, this is really big problem for him. So that's why we need to get involved and even more people in this project, and more people attract even more tourists. Okay? Thank you for your attention.
So what? Thank thanks a lot for your nice summary and your insights in the work you did with the expert from Google. My question is, do you need trained specialists to build up such kind of Google Maps you were talking about, or
sure.
YouTube channel?
Okay. To add maps in the map, this kind of mesh or some stuff like this, it doesn't need to have a specialist because it's really easy and you just have to follow the rules, what is written on the Google map. But also, the Google is already has a partnership with Georgia, and they already send a specialist in this to, let's say, to have an even much more experience in this. Because, for example, maybe I know how to match some pointers, some stuff like this in the Google map, but when the moderator is making this, it's much better. And for example, I know it for myself, but I cannot teach it to the other person. I will teach it to my friend, but not to the whole auditory, as they have such kind of knowledge and they will do it probably. And I'm pretty sure that in a few years we will not have such kind of problems.
So it's not hard to learn, but you have to have experience. And
yeah, of course, because if you don't have any experience, how you will do your job?
All right, thank you.
Большое за презентацию, а сейчас приглашаются студенты воркшопа номер 3 «Круизный туризм. Развитие туристических дестинаций».
Thank you very much for your presentation. And now we are glad to see the workshop number 3 and the topic is cruise tourism and development of tourist destinations.
Good morning to everyone. My name is Natasha. I represent the group of the Kherson region. First of all, I want to thank Alexis Papathanassias for his presentation. For us, it was a great pleasure to attend to the workshop. It was a good experience to work with the presentation and how to perform with them for the easiness of perception. It's interesting and exciting for the listener. For a long time we could not determine with the choice of the workshop, but with number 3 we're not mistaken. And what we have understood from our presentation, it was presentation of the example of Greece, that the political situation in the country can prevent the development of tourism, and that the mass media for their profiles are often exaggerate reality. In the case of Egypt, we conclude that in spite of the risk of terrorism, the number of tourists doesn't decrease, because Egypt is famous for its historical and cultural values, as well as the prices aren't expensive. Turkey consistently remains one of the leading expensive resorts because it has a very good public relation and advertising. We can say that before presentation of ads for the potential customers in any way will attract interest to go to any point, depending on the capabilities of the tourists. Later in the presentation, we examine the crisis management, the main reasons of it, and how to react when it occurs. In tourism and the service sector, crisis leaves a bad impact on the image and work in general. The negative events generally become the main cause of the crisis. Depending on how they will be presented, it can already depend on the reputation of the whole country and the idea of it. The information that was presented to us is very relevant to our time and to us. It's important and very interesting as for the future especially. In the future we want to consider as small possible the methods of elimination of the crisis. Our next question is what has the mini project touched us? The topic of our project was the reputation management action plan in the Kherson region. With the convenient and clear structure, we have learned in more detail how it is necessary and possible to promote the region. We have three sections. First is the destination marketing and branding template. Second session is destination crisis management and communication template. And third, last our session is project financing options. In session 8, we examined and determined the position of the campaign region image. In session B, we determined the crisis management structures, processes, and implementation. And the last session, C, we made up destination image and defined funding bodies. And the last question that I would like to respond is what topics we would like to examine. We would like to learn more about the crises that may interpose the development for tourism in the country. Learn to distinguish them, to deal with them, to be able to warn the crises that might occur. And learn how not to mix political and terrorist problems with the development of tourism in the country. Not to notice but what the country possibly improve the tourism industry. Learn more about how to build the image of the city, correctly use the advertising and direct it in the right direction. Also, I would like to learn how to use the historical values of our region while creating tours in order to raise the travel of tourists to our profit. And once again, thank you for experience and excitement. Thank you for your attention.
Вопросы, пожалуйста.
If you have any questions, you can ask.
So, good morning, dear ladies and gentlemen. I would like to present Odessa Group, and we also work with Bulgarian students and teachers. And thank you very much, Alexis, for your great experience. It was the second time I visit your lectures, and you are always very interesting, and your lectures are really absorbing, and it is very pleasant for me to be your student for a while. So, what we're doing, we studied crisis management. First of all, it was very important for us to know that how to behave, how to react in different crisis situations. So, what the managers should do that when their companies are in such situations. And you know that last year we have really crisis situation in Odessa, and the quantity of cruise tourists becomes very low, and we should to create one strategy for riding this quantity. So what are our key value propositions? So first of all, we asked from tourists their experience and their imagine about our city, and this there are our Odessa cuisine, our entertainment, our catacombs, and our festivals and entertainment. And I think that one of the most important things that in Odessa the prices are cheaper than in Europe, so it's very interesting and it's very important for tourists. Next one, we also studied our comparative regional advantages and weaknesses. So what about our advantages? They are hospitable people, friendly people, it's our good weather conditions, and our traditional cognac production, because we have also different VIP tours for cruise tourists. And what about weaknesses? We have poor infrastructure in our city, especially as we told about people with disabilities, and there are lack of people who knows English, especially in service personnel in our restaurants, in our cafes. Also, it is a lack of pointers in English, though there are no in the city center. And also one of the main problems is political unrest and informational war about our city. So, what about our current image? It is our friendly citizens, Odessa full food, clean city, and a lot of sightseeing. What about our current image issues? It's people with a lot of beggars in our city centers, and I know that our tourists and also citizens hate them. And I think that it's really a big problem. And what we desire to have in future is no informational world, war, and quiet and safe atmosphere in our city, and broadcasting of positive image about Odessa all over the world. After studying all of these points, we decided to have such key message. So our promise that you will meet in Odessa. It's a passionate and affectionate cuddle of Odessa. Again, thank you very much for this lecture. It was very great brainstorm. Thank you very much for your attention.
Yes, I have one question. Thank you for your summary of the workshop you did with Alexis. I'm just asking myself, your topic was crisis management.
Yes.
And I understood that it's good to prevent, to think ahead, to anticipate such crises. But I'm asking myself, what kind of crises you were talking about in the tourism sector? Can you give me some examples?
Yes, we have three types of crisis. It's periodical crisis or creeping crisis. So we studied such a kind of crisis.
Okay. Thank you.
Спасибо большое. А сейчас приглашаются студенты воркшопа номер 4 под названием «Экотуризм», который... Sorry.
Это уже Хайлер.
So the word is given to the Alexander of the workshop number 3.
Hello everyone, we're the third group from Alexei's workshop, workshop number 3. The title of the workshop was Destination Development, as girls have already mentioned, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to talk about now, what was our task to do for today. It was to answer to 4 questions. The first one is what we have learned from the workshop, what the key message we produced for our country, what did we find, what kind of experience we find about workshop, and what we would like to learn further. The presentation was divided into 2 parts, theoretical and practical parts. The theoretical part itself consisted of 2 parts, destination positioning and crisis management. The destination positioning was about value added experience and about key messages for customers. It is a useful preventive tool to eliminate crisis situations. Also, we learned that the most important is what customers think about us and not what particular destination gives, what particular destination supplies to tourists. The most important is that we learned about customer-based approach, and that's the most significant thing. After theoretical part, we were given the templates to fill out. And there were very hard discussions while filling out these questionnaires. Now I'm gonna talk about key results. About value-added experiences for our country, for Georgia. The first one is excessive hospitality, rich hospitality. We are always droning our guests with excessive hospitality. The second one is that there are always abundance of dishes at Georgian table. The third one and the last one is experiencing adventures in the highest mountainous region. For example, in Mestia, the highest mountainous village in Georgia and in the whole Europe. And the key message for our customers is to come to our country and get a feel for unforgettable hospitality and Georgian lifestyle. And finally, if you want to spend a really good time in Georgia and have your lifetime experience, visit Kutaisi and find Elbuja and get drunk with me. For sure, it's an official version of our key message. Now my friend will continue.
Hello everyone. Firstly, I want to say that yesterday was our first experience to work together with our lectures. So thank you for this, Mr. Alex. It was really fun and interesting, really. Now I would like to add just a little bit statement what have been discussed above by Nutsa. The question is, what would we like to learn in more details in relation to the recovered topics? So we would like to learn about sustainable tourism development, which includes pretended actions to eliminate quiet crisis, fundraising, how to get financial resources for coordination tourist stakeholders. Thank you, and if you have questions, we are ready for this.
Свою презентацию готовит четвертый воркшоп «Экотуризм. База зеленого туризма. Чайка», модератор Людмила Сматрова.
For the presentation, I invited the workshop number 14. The moderator is Ludmila Smardova. The topic is ecotourism and the base of the green tourism Chayka in Holopristin.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to present our results of our workshop. Number 4. The topic of our workshop was ecotourism in Chayka Resort in the city of Kherson. First of all, let me introduce myself and my colleague. My name is Ekaterina Kherson, and name of my colleague is Четвертий. Before the start of the presentation, we would like to thank Ludmila Smardova for the great workshop. We will talk about the Chayka Resort, the ecotourism principles, and present our results about the resort. The Chayka Resort is ecotourism resort in Ukraine. It shows Ukraine history and heritage as well as unique by nature and beautiful environment. In this resort, they offer opportunity for active recreation, relaxation, and educational activities. The target group are mostly family life, students, and other groups. This slide shows the exact location of this resort. On the first picture, we can see the position of Chayka Resort in Ukraine. It is near the Black Sea area. On the second picture, you can see that resort is located near the Dnieper River in Kherson. In the next slide, we have some expressions about from our workshop. For example, in the picture number 3, we can see the man who is the owner of this Chayka Resort with stones. These stones represent his family tree. The biggest stone is here, and from his left side is his wife stone, and the other stones represent his family. On the other pictures, we can see area of Chayka Resort, and on the last pictures, you can see our work in this workshop. And now my colleague Tony can continue their presentation.
Thank you, Kate. So, our evaluation is based on these principles of ecotourism. The first principle is education and interpretation. Second is minimize the negative impact upon the natural and socio-cultural environment. The third one is the maintenance of natural areas, and the last one is support of local communities. Our evaluation from yesterday's workshop reveals that Chalika Resort is an ecotourism resort which offers environmentally friendly activities, but still there is some room of improvement. Referring to the first principle, education and interpretation, we found out that there is a lack of information. For example, information for visitors how they should behave in this destination. Another problem this area faces is unsatisfied level of language skills. Most citizens speak in Russian language, and yesterday we had a guide. She was speaking Russian language, so somebody who can speak in English language, she can't understand what she said. So I think it's a problem for them. So next, unfortunately, flyers are not made recyclable paper. And natural and social cultural environment, one of the biggest problems is lack of rules and regulations when it comes to ecological damage. For example, too many boats are on the river at the same time. Support the maintenance of natural areas. The resort has no ecological measurement, which means that they, for example, don't separate garbage. Ecotourism needs more standards. Support of local communities. There is a lack of traditional events like festivals and markets, and in addition, locals could wear special clothes for events to improve the atmosphere at Chalika. It should help to explore Ukrainian tradition. Even though locals provide great hospitality, they could offer more touristic activities and services. So, thank you for your attention. Questions?
Спасибо большое. Вопросов нет. Хотелось бы предоставить слово каждому модератору из каждого воркшопа. Модератору Виктору Фуксу, первый воркшоп, сервис и качество обслуживания.
Thanks to the students for their presentation, and now we would like to listen to our moderators. The first moderator is Wolfgang Fuchs, the moderator of the first workshop.
Morning together. So what have we done yesterday in the morning? We spoke on service quality. We spoke on a soft fact. What's important for you, for all the destinations and for all the universities, is to take care that service quality it's not a question of hospitality or of the restaurant sector. If we speak of service quality, we are speaking of destination management. We are speaking of leisure parks, we are speaking of cruise tourism. And what we should take care, what you should take care in the next decisions is that if you look to the competition worldwide, the hard facts are what we call commodities. So the cruise tourism in Odessa or the cruise tourism in the Black Sea competes with the cruise tourism in the North Sea and so on and so forth. So the competitive advantage you can take is by you can stress is by the soft facts. And so what, in my opinion, would be really important for all the universities taking part is to make a stress to the service quality. For example, it's easy said, you have to imagine like this, the customers coming to you or the guests coming to you, they make, we call it, they make a customer journey. Yeah? If they are on the cruise, if they are in the hotel, if they are in the discotheque, if they are at the airport or wherever, it doesn't matter. They make a customer journey, we call it like this, and now they have different touch points, and it's up to you to define these touch points and to design it. What you should take care, in my opinion, is that we tend always to speak of the great frame, and we forget and we underestimate the small touch points. To make it clear, for example, we've been in a hotel where they really have had problems in organizing the breakfast. Yeah? We have had a wonderful touch point at the same hotel at the reception, and the receptionists have done a wonderful job. But for example, if you go to the department breakfast, they have had organizational problems. So what I want to say is we should take care, you should take care that we, of course we can speak of strategic decisions, of course we can speak of a destination management of a whole country, but you should take care of the small steps, and the small steps are starting in the single enterprise, in the single hotel, in the single restaurant. And so these are the decisions you can design. If we speak of a destination management worldwide, of a destination management of Georgia or of Java, in my opinion, it's too difficult that you can design it, because you don't have the power, you don't have the resources. And so in my opinion, it makes sense that you start in your projects, in your destination points, with small packages. And the small packages, in my opinion, the single hotel, the single restaurant, the single tourist office, the single cruise terminal, whatever. And there you start with small steps. Last thought I want to give you, think of these touch points. If a guest is coming to you and he has, let's say, only 2 touch points which doesn't work, perhaps he will say the next time in his decision process, oh, Georgia was nice, but next time I go to Norway, it's better. You know, if I'm going to the airport and I have only one touch point with an officer who is impolite, I say, why should I do this the next holidays? So you have to, for example, you have to discuss, are we able, it's just an example, but what I want to say you, how can we optimize the customer journey while going into the country? This is what you can design. Yeah, you can't design the destination management of your country because it's set. Yeah? But what's not set in stone is that you say, okay, how can we optimize, for example, the guest coming to the Odessa terminal? And then you make the small steps. Yeah? And this is like work is going on. These are the small steps, and all of us, we don't have the capacity, we don't have the resources, and we don't have the time to reorganize or to redesign the big frame. Yeah? And so what I want to say, to come to an end, service quality is, in my opinion, it's only one topic. Yeah? There are also other topics, of course, but it is a soft fact. But if you take the view of the customer, it's one of the most important facts. Yeah? And so, in my opinion, it would be important for you, for all the destination points, to say, what can we do in small steps, giving help, for example, to a hotel, to a restaurant, or whatever. And the last fact, it is relatively easy, you know, a small smile, or to say it once more, to the restaurant, to the breakfast. They were not able, I just speak of some persons, but they were not able to design an efficient process in bringing the breakfast to the table, to the customer. And so what we should take care is, if we always speak of the strategic level, it's nice to know, and sometimes it's a sort of academic discussion, but I am the guest, and I compare the breakfast I have in Cape Town or in San Francisco with the breakfast in Tbilisi. And if it doesn't work, I say, nice nice to see Tbilisi, but the next time I go somewhere else. And so try to start the small steps to improve the competitive advantages. So, thank you.
Приглашаем поделиться своими выводами, рекомендациями. Модератор у нас был Юрий Антощук, второго воркшопа «Социальные сети». Так как его сегодня нет, он вчера отработал этот день, поэтому я приглашаю Шарко Виталия Владимировича, пожалуйста.
So the word is given to our deputy moderator of the second workshop. It is Vitaly Sharko, but we know that our moderator was Yuri Ardashuk, but he is not here today, unfortunately. But let's see our presentation, the results of our workshop.
Всем еще раз добрый день. Прежде всего, я хочу сказать большое спасибо всем участникам вчерашнего воркшопа «Социальные сети и IT в туризме». Большое вам спасибо, вы провели достаточно продуктивную работу. Это все отобразилось на презентациях сегодняшних.
Good day to everyone. I want to thank to every participant of our workshop in the topic of IT technologies and social networks in tourism for your active work and for the results that you've given to us.
Я думаю, что полученные знания не только на нашем воркшопе, но и на остальных воркшопах пригодятся в нашей дальнейшей работе в проекте.
I think that the knowledge that you got in the workshop will be applied to our continued work.
И думаю, что вы все получили достаточно хороший, продуктивный такой опыт.
I think that you got really good and productive experience.
И самое главное, новые, хорошие впечатления.
And the most important, good, wonderful impressions.
Ну а теперь я хотел бы вас познакомить с нашей страничкой в Фейсбуке Tempus CruiseT KSU.
So I would like to discover to you our Tempus page of our university, Kherson, of our Kherson State University, Tempus Project.
И я прежде всего приглашаю всех присоединяться в группу. Группа эта закрытая, но вы заходите к нам, отправляйте ваши запросы, мы вам будем всегда рады.
I would like to invite you to follow our group. We will be glad to see you as our followers.
Такой достаточно хороший стимул сюда присоединиться. Сюда будут выложены все фотографии, все презентации. Также тут будут ссылки на видео, то есть полностью видео 2-3 часа. Видео целого дня, каждого рабочего дня. Понедельник, вторник, среда, четверг, пятница. И это все будет где-то около 10 часов видео, примерно будет выложено через 2-3 дня.
So here at the website of this group you can find a lot of different information concerning our workshops, different photographs and videos, and in account you can see that we have 10 hours video that will be downloaded for 3 or 4 days.
Ну и в завершении хочу маленький обзор сделать с правой стороны.
And now I would like to make some review at the right side.
Вы можете увидеть ссылку на главный канал CruiseT KSU YouTube.
You can find the reference to the main channel. It is the CruiseT YouTube channel.
Как мы видим, мы перешли на наш канал. Вы можете увидеть самые главные видеообзоры.
So you've entered to our channel and you can see here the main video reviews.
То есть тут видеообзоры с разных телеканалов, собственные видеозаписи разных встреч с Болгарии, Грузии, херсонских, грузинских встреч.
From different channels and different events at our university and at others universities.
Также последующие ссылки Tempus CruiseT KSU Presentation на новозеландском файлообменнике вы можете ознакомиться с всеми презентациями, которые были отображены в ходе наших встреч. Это, к примеру, вот Варна, Одесса, Батуми, Кутаиси, Тбилиси.
By the other reference, you can find, you can download the files that are connected with the different presentations of Kutaisi, Tbilisi, Varna University.
Тут достаточно хорошая скорость для скачивания, так что вам будет вполне комфортно просматривать или скачать полностью весь пакет презентаций.
Here we have the good speed of the downloading, so you can watch them in a good quality and with a quick downloading.
Ну, всем большое спасибо.
So, thank you very much.
Спасибо большое за оперативную работу, и действительно есть уже продукт, который вы создали. Это действительно значимо в рамках проекта.
I would like to thank you for the really operative work, and we see the prepared product of this work, so it is very important and very significant for our project.
Хочу также предоставить слово Алексису Папатанасиусу, который был модератором круизного туризма, развития туристических дестинаций, и услышать рекомендации, пожелания по работе воркшопа.
I would like to give the word to Alexis Papatanasios, who was the moderator of the third workshop, and to hear for his recommendations and suggestions.
First of all, thanks for the great fun, for your very, very kind words. I don't deserve them, and plus I was not alone. I had colleagues that were helping me. They're all sitting here, and they also worked very hard to try and make this a good learning experience. And at the end of the day, without the participants, any workshop is a total disaster. And this could have very easily been a disaster, but we were very lucky because we had great participants. They worked very hard, you worked extremely hard, you were discussing, you got frustrated, you were confronted with a lot of new concepts and actually quite annoying concepts. I remember Guja getting really, really frustrated and upset with me. I remember people coming, asking questions, not understanding what particular terms mean. It was at times hard and working and discussing and getting frustrated and being confused, but that's the learning experience. And from what I've seen today, from your summaries, I'm very happy that you learned, and it's obvious that you learned. So I'm not going to describe what the workshop was about because I think you did that very well. At the end of the day, it's a topic which is important for especially emerging destinations or developing destinations because it's about reputation. And at the end of the day, what is reputation? Reputation is what you promise, whether you keep your promise, and how you react in difficult situations. This is your character, and this is what stays. And this is what we talked about. Of course, it's impossible within half a day of discussion and working together to produce entire branding concepts, marketing plans, or crisis management structures, or project plans. That was not the point. The point was that you thought you had to do this, which actually stressed you very much, which meant you were very involved, very engaged, and you had quite a few discussions. And at the end of the day, we said, well, no, don't worry, you just have to present what you learned and what are the highlights, and then everyone was like, so it was a great thing. I will never forget walking around and seeing all the teams, or the three teams, working, discussing intensively, being very serious. So it was quite hard work, and I can only say, I can also speak for my colleagues, we are very, very pleased with what we've seen today from the results, and we hope that some things stay with you. And thank you ever so much for making this such a pleasure for us. I never spent a day teaching and felt so comfortable and relaxed afterwards. Thank you very much.
Спасибо большое за такое яркое выступление.
Thank you very much for so bright performance.
Предоставляем слово модератору Людмиле Смардовой, которая вела 4-й воркшоп по экотуризму.
Now the word is given to the moderator of the 4th workshop, Ludmila Smardova, by the topic of ecotourism.
Thank you very much. At the beginning, I would like to thank all participants for coming to my workshop. Not only students, but also teachers for supporting the discussion. Without your hints, you supported also students to work on the topic. I really like that students supported each other, and I like your work, that you were really interested in the topic and you did hard work, especially when we arrived from workshop to hotel. I know that what you presented today was just summary, and you did much more. Especially I like that you produced something which can be used in the future for Chaika Resort, and I hope it will be used at least as some inspiration, very creative inspiration. And maybe at the end I would like to stress the importance of ecotourism development and also agritourism and rural tourism development. We can see that people are moving to big cities, to capitals for the job, for work for corporations and big companies. Actually, working in land and on the countryside is much more added value than some people can see, and it can help people with many economic benefits, and in the future I hope it will be normal, as our host said yesterday, that life is normal, to live with the nature is normal, and I hope it will be normal for each person to go a little bit to the nature and to relax in nice land, in Ukraine and in Georgia and any other country. Thank you for participating.
Хочу предоставить слово главному координатору проекта нашего, Николасу Шаперу. Вчера имел возможность быть на всех 4 воркшопах и поделиться своим мнением.
I would like to give the word to our main coordinator, to Nicholas Shaper. Yesterday he was at every workshop, and we are ready to hear for your impressions about them.
Okay, thank you. First I want to thank all students and all moderators giving us an insight what they did in the workshops. I think that was very good, and I could somehow resemble what was done in the workshop. And I think that the results we heard about are also good and are promising. As Oksana already mentioned, I visited all 4 workshops, and I got just an impression of the work that was done in the workshop. But my impression was that everybody was very engaged in the issues of the different workshops, and they tried to solve very much the problems that were stated there from their moderators. So that's a more general overall impression, but I think it was worth to do these workshops in this phase of the project. Before we go to the excursion, I might raise some questions for the work. So my first question is, are there other insights we didn't mention this morning? Maybe there are some other points that are important for you, and you want to say them here in our discussion. That's the first question. And the next question is, are there still things open? Are there questions open for you when dealing with the issues in the workshops? and what do you want to learn in further steps, especially special issues that we should consider planning the training mobilities. So, again, the questions, are there other important insights which weren't mentioned, and which special issues or open questions are for you there? That's an answer too, so maybe no questions anymore. But you can take these questions with you and talk with us maybe more informally about these things if there are, maybe the next days we raise these questions again, so it's just an impulse for you to think about these things. Thank you.
Общая информация. Всем спасибо большое. Мы сегодня все, что мы запланировали в программе в первой половине дня, мы выполнили.
So everything that we planned for the first part of our day work was conducted.
Автобусы будут через 15 минут, 15-20 минут.
Buses will be waiting for you in 10 minutes.
И одну минуточку еще, подождите. Здесь очень важный организационный вопрос.
We have the important organizational question.
У нас по программе сегодняшнего дня мы делим на две группы. Группа студентов, которые едут в заповедник Аскания Нова.
Today we dividing our students for two groups. The first group is going to Askania Nova Reserve.
И преподаватели работают в регионе.
And the teacher works in the region.
Новая Каховка на пресс-брифинге.
Teachers work in Новокаховка in the press briefing.
Поэтому, пожалуйста, у вас есть 15-20 минут, чтобы рассадиться в автобусы. Соответственно, наши организаторы помогут, в какой автобус.
So you have 10 or 15 minutes to go to the buses to take your places, and our organizers will help you to find your seats.
Спасибо большое.
Thank you very much.